our first video for this series, we have introduced the RCEP, the largest free trade agreement in the world, covering 30% of both the world population and GDP. From its entry in force, thousands of entry tariffs will be reduced or zeroed, easing trade in the whole Asia region. What are exactly the timing for said reduction? Find out in our videos.
Hello everyone, I'm Viola Vertora, trade analyst at ICHAM. Today I'm going to talk about Vietnam, its commercial relations with New Zealand, and how the RCEP will affect the commercial exchanges between the two countries. The total commercial interchange of 2020 among Vietnam and New Zealand amounted to $1 billion USD, with Vietnam having a negative trade balance of minus $59 million USD. We see Vietnam having a total of 557 million USD imports and 598 million USD exports with New Zealand. For what concerns the tariffs reduction applied by the two countries following the RCEP agreement, we can see that both Vietnam and New Zealand show different trends depending on diverse sectors and products. Both countries will leave out the agreement some products, while they will zero their tariffs on all the other products. Now we begin analyzing the agreement, starting from the food and beverage sector. For what regards meat of bovine and meat of swine, New Zealand's tariffs will become duty-free in 10 years, and the same will do Vietnam. For poultry, instead, Vietnam will zero tariffs in 15 years, while New Zealand has already its tariffs at zero. For what concerns dairy products, Vietnam tariffs will become duty-free in 1 year, while dairy products in New Zealand are already duty-free except for concentrated milk and cream, which will become so in 1 year. New Zealand sees any type of fish and crustaceans already without duties, while Vietnam will zero its tariffs on both crustaceans and yellowfin tunas between 10 and 15 years. New Zealand has the same trend for cereals. In fact, rice and wheat present already tariffs at zero. Vietnam instead doesn't reduce fully its tariffs on rice, and wheat will see its tariffs zeroed in 1 year. Concerning vegetables, Vietnam will reduce its tariffs in 10 years for tomatoes and carrots, while just in 1 year for lettuce and potatoes. New Zealand, on the other hand, has its tariffs already at zero on all types of vegetables. Fruits in Vietnam will become duty-free in 10 years, with some exception that will see tariffs zeroed in just 1 year. These are grapes, melons, and papaya. New Zealand, on the other hand, presents tariffs already zeroed for all kinds of fruit, with some exceptions, as cherries, which will become so in 10 years. Looking at beverages, we can see that in New Zealand, both wine and beer are already duty-free. Instead, in Vietnam, they will both become duty-free in 15 years. For what regards the textile industry, both silk and cotton have tariffs which are already at zero in New Zealand, while wool will become duty-free in 1 year. Vietnam instead sees cotton duties becoming duty-free between 10 and 15 years, while the one on silk and wool already in 1 year. Clothing accessories are becoming duty-free in just 1 year in Vietnam, while they see tariffs being fully reduced in New Zealand not earlier than in 15 years. For the transport sector, New Zealand has already no duties neither on motorcycles and motorcars, while Vietnam does not eliminate duties on motorcycles, and it takes 10 years to see a full reduction in motorcars. Articles of jewelry are already duty-free in New Zealand, while it takes 10 years for Vietnam to fully eliminate the duties on those products. For the important sector of pharmaceutical products, we see Vietnam waiting 10 years for the full reduction in tariffs, with the exception of gauzes and bandages that will take just 1 year, and waste pharmaceutical being excluded from the agreement. Instead, New Zealand sees all elements of the pharmaceutical sector being already duty-free. In the sector of electrical machinery, New Zealand has duties already at zero for most products. The exception are water heaters in 15 years and web cameras in 10 years. On the other hand, Vietnam leaves duties on some products, which are electrical lighting, water heaters, and electromechanical domestic appliances, while it zeroes tariffs in 10 years for all other products. The last sector we are going to analyze is the one of iron and steel. Vietnam sees different trends in the tariffs reduction of these products. For some products of iron and non-alloy steel, it sees no reduction. All other products are reduced in 10 years, and cold rolled products of iron and steel are excluded from the agreement. New Zealand instead sees tariffs on this sector already at zero, except for angles, shapes, and selections of iron and steel, which are excluded from the agreement. As it is important to see which other products are excluded from the agreement, we have a list for both Vietnam's and New Zealand's exclusions, respectively. For Vietnam, we have tanks, pneumatic tires of rubber, residual products of the chemical industry, fireworks, petroleum gases and oils, and tobacco. Well, for New Zealand, we do not see any other exclusion from the agreement.
That's all for this video. For further details, we invite you to write down to these email addresses and to follow us on our website and social media that you can find in the description below. Grazie and hang apply.
Welcome to ICHAM channel. The Italian Chamber of Commerce in Vietnam, ICHAM, is an agency that brings a bigger business network of the Italian company and the Vietnamese company, and also providing a customized experience and services to the company. Services of ICHAM are divided in following main categories. The first one and the most important one is market entry services. The second category is providing the consultancy for investment. The third category is organizing business networking. So if you have any requests or for further detail, please contact us. We are here to help. Thank you. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại.